Welcome to this live feed, Steph here, Relational Alchemist, Community Builder and Change Maker. Thank you so much for being here. It's appropriate that I'm laughing because the title for today is Bringing Humor into Your Warrior Essence and what this actually means. And I'm here in the beautiful Bali, Indonesia, and I'm with a couple of close friends, and we're working on some epic, amazing things together, amazing projects together. And we laugh a lot. We laugh a lot as friends. We laugh a lot as business partners, as partners, and we look at life a little bit differently sometimes, and it's good to look at it that way. So I was asking the boys, what do I talk about in this live feed? Because there's a couple of topics that I wish to discuss and speak to. Hello, Mary. How are you? A couple of topics that I wish to discuss and speak to, but I want your input as men. Tell me as men, what should we do? And then we came up with, what about bringing humor into your warrior essence? What about making light of life? What about understanding life and viewing life from a different perspective, a perspective that allows us to be more open, to be more creative, to see life from a perspective of fun and play, and what that behavior, how that actually affects our reality, how that actually affects how we see the world. Barry, I'm sorry to hear that, but hopefully you get some inspiration from this video. Ashley, thank you so much. People that are coming on board, let me know, as I can't see everybody that's coming on board, number one in the comment box, and maybe an emoticon to let me know how you're feeling, and share that vibe with the tribe. Yeah, share how you're feeling with the tribe. And thank you, Carolyn, and you'll be supported. That's for sure. Tony, welcome, my friend. How are you? It's good to see you. Which part of the world are you in? Please let me know. So fun, play. Humor. What does it mean? Why is it important? And I've just seen that one of the gentlemen that I'm with has joined me. He can literally hear me over here, but he's joined me on his phone, on his Android phone, which isn't even that good. We're having a laugh here. Okay, so how is humor and how is fun? How is play? How do we integrate that in our lives, and the effect it has on us as men, and also us as people, and in our relationships as well. Now, of course, I'm speaking to men specifically because I'm very much speaking to the Reclaim Your Kingdom program, online program, 3-month immersive program that begins mid-March. So obviously I do a lot of research, not only qualitative research in terms of just looking at life through my own experiences, observing people, observing my own behavior, observing the men that I'm with, my friends, my history, my past behaviors, all of that, but also deep research in the area of masculinity and what it means to be a man, and what it means to be a human being, actually like a healthy human being, what that balance actually means. And in fact, how do we even define health? How do we define what it means to be a healthy human being? And stick around, Mary, because I think this is going to help you a little bit, my dear. So hopefully you get something from this, yeah? And thank you, Emma. Thank you for your belated birthday wishes. Deeply appreciated. I feel just a little bit wiser now that I've had another rotation around the sun. So, fun and play. Fun and play and humour. So, generally as men, especially in Western society, we are taught that we have to, through unconscious and conscious social constructs, we're told that we have to be stoic. We have to be serious. We have to be the provider. We have to be this type of person. We have to be strong in our posture. We have to be fearless. We have to be courageous. We cannot feel emotions. We cannot, and if we do feel emotions, they have to be emotions that are emotions of frustration or emotions of intensity or extremity or anger. We have to stamp our authority. There is no time for play. There is no time for fun. There is no time for humor. Work, life, making money, being in business, being authoritative, it is serious business, and that's what it's all about. So there's no real time for humor, there's no real time for fun and play and creating magic in our lives in that way. And the detriment that causes us as human beings, as men in particular, means that it distances us from ourselves. We do not know ourselves, we do not become acquainted with that aspect or that part of ourselves. And of course, we distance ourselves from the people in our lives. We distance ourselves from the people that we love and that we care about. That has a negative compounding effect on how we are then seen in the world as men. And we don't want to be placed in the out group. We want to be part of the in group. That's human nature. It's natural to want to be included in the tribe, included in the global family, in the extended family, in the cultural family, in our blood family dynamics, in our peer groups. We all want to be included. And the way we are generally included is when we are agreeable, when we do what the tribe says, when we act in accordance with the values of that tribe. Now, the tribe, remember, can be a small family dynamic, it can be peer groups of friends, it can be culture, it can be society, it can be your country's values, your ethnic values. There's so many different compartmentalized versions of what collective values means. It's important, however, that we begin to look at ourselves and what we wish to be and achieve in life. Now, as men, this can become a problem because any form of self-expression that's outside of the norm, that's outside of what is generally accepted as what it means to be a man or what defines masculinity in this sense, is ostracized. And with ostracization comes judgment, comes ridicule, comes fear, comes frustration. So the person feels this. We feel this as men and we become triggered. So when we are judged, when we are rejected, when we feel and experience fear, our amygdala is activated. Our amygdala activates our hippocampus. Our hippocampus activates our adrenal glands. Our pituitary gland and our pituitary gland activates our adrenal glands, and we get this influx of cortisol and noradrenaline, adrenaline, these stress hormones that go through our bodies because we're experiencing disconnection or judgment or frustration. Now, the more we experience these negative emotions that are associated with these stress hormones that are released, the perpetual experience of these negative emotions, the more we actually refrain from being ourselves, and the more we move into just being what the status quo tells us to be. And there are a myriad of negative physiological effects that come with not being ourselves or having this consistent, perpetual, excessive flux of cortisol and noradrenaline and adrenaline, these stress hormones streaming through our body. So it's a deterrent. It's naturally a deterrent to be ourselves, to engage in life, to have fun, to play, to loosen up, to give ourselves perspective and contrast into what life could be. It's vital that we are actually able to play, that we are actually able to have fun, that we are actually able to laugh and see the lightness in life, as someone mentioned earlier, I believe it was Emma. And you can create fun, and you can create wonder in everyday life, and you can see that, and you can feel that, you can perceive that, you can be with that, and it becomes an amazing opportunity for us to grow through that. It becomes an amazing opportunity for us to realize different aspects of self that we've never been able to connect to. Because when we are in a fun, playful situation, when we are able to laugh at life, when we are able to express ourselves wholly, when we are able to just be ourselves, we are able to view life from a different perspective, one that necessarily isn't a closed state of being, one that necessarily isn't hyper-focused on what we are told to be by the masses or what we are told to be by society. And that becomes empowering for us because then we are able to make choices based on who we are, on our authentic expression, on our own selves. And lightness, or allowing lightness to come into our lives, humour and play and fun and so forth, allows us to be in a more open state of being. When we're in a more open state of being, we are more creative, we are more courageous, we are able to see the nuances in life very differently to when we're in a closed state of being where we are restricted and we are coming from fear. This fear limits us, it limits our ability to take action, it limits our ability to be present as well, because we are in constant anticipation of what may happen. We are in constant anticipation of being safe. So we're not able to focus on the wonder and the play and the fun in life. But when we allow ourselves to be that person, to be that man in particular, because of course I'm very much speaking to what it means to be a man and breaking social norms, breaking societal constructs, we grow profoundly. And again, it comes back to that perspective. We're able to see life from a very different perspective. And it's in that perspective that, again, we realize that we needn't be or adhere to the status quo. We needn't adhere to the masses or any cultural constructs of what we're told we need to be. Again, this becomes very empowering. We become more open and communicative in our relationships from this perspective. And, sorry guys, it's very hot here. It's so warm. Coming from this perspective allows us to be vulnerable and open and connected in our relationships. Now, sometimes we look at the term vulnerability and we relate to it in a sense of, especially men in particular, relate to vulnerability as if it's a weakness. It's weak to be vulnerable, it's weak to express yourself, it's weak to express your truth, to be able to connect to who you are as a person. The reality is vulnerability is honesty. And honesty, transparency, it's really acquainting oneself with self, with the fullness of who we are. And when we are vulnerable with ourselves, when we begin to look at who we are as people, because we allow ourselves to loosen up in life, we allow ourselves not to be so rigid in who we are and how we move through the world and in our relationships and in our behaviours, we're able to just loosen up and have some fun and incorporate play and magic and fun in our lives and laughter. That changes the way, again, we perceive life, or the way we see life. And we cease to come from rigidity, and we open ourselves up to communication. We open ourselves up to expressing our authentic nature, our authentic self, what we need, what we want, what our desires are, what is favourable to us in life, what is not. We begin to be able to set healthy boundaries. We're able to express ourselves when something isn't working in our lives or when we do not appreciate a particular behaviour that's in our lives. And we allow ourselves to be very honest with who we are and what we need and what we want, our values, our purpose, etc. In fact, this open exploration of self is allowed to transpire because we are creating the space to do so. We are creating the space to be so. To be that person that we weren't acquainted with, we didn't know existed, because we live this life that is according to the masses or according to the status quo, or according to what we are being told we need to and should be. And you know, those words, that should word is a dangerous word. It's an absolute term, and it locks us in. It keeps us very rigid in the way that we could behave in life. So taking all that into account, where can you be more playful in your life? Where can you have more fun in your life? Where can you have more openness in your life? Where can you be more open in your life? Where can you begin to ask questions of yourself around, is your behavior, or is the way you're being, or even your belief systems, are they really in alignment with what you truly want, what you truly desire? And so many of us so often don't give ourselves the opportunity to actually be connected to our truth. We don't give ourselves an opportunity to actually ask real meaningful questions about what we want and what we desire in life. And one of the reasons is because, Linda, how are you? One of the reasons is because we are locked into these rigid frameworks and paradigms. And we're told to be someone or be something that we don't really resonate with. And because of that, we're unable to express our authentic nature. We're unable to express the truth of who we really are. So we're essentially living in this perpetual lie, this perpetual inauthentic state. Again, becomes very dangerous for who we are as people and expressing our truth. Not healthy. Not healthy for the relationships that we live through, not healthy for our future relationships, not healthy for ourselves, not healthy for the people that we're about to meet, not healthy for the people that are in our lives, how we treat them and how we treat ourselves in relation to that relationship as well. Yes, Linda, I'm in Bali, yeah, absolutely. As you could probably tell behind me. So I want to leave you with that question. Where in your life are you restricting yourself because you are not living your truth, because you are not adhering to your authentic nature, but rather adhering to the status quo, or being told what you should be and what you could do? And perhaps incorporating humor in your life, incorporating, actively, consciously choosing fun, play, magic, humor in your life can liberate you from the shackles of ignorance and rigidity that keep you locked down, that keep you not being the most profound version of self, because you're hiding away, because you're scared of who you could be, or you're scared of presenting your authentic self to the world. And if that's the type of life that you want to live, then by all means make those choices. But I promise you, the majority of people would not make that choice if they consciously knew they could make a different choice. And by creating open states of being for ourselves and choosing to be happy and choosing to engage in humor and looking at the lightness in life allows us to engage in open states of being where we can be more creative, where We become wiser around what we want and what we need, and we gain clarity literally by immersing in an open state of being. And that clarity is king, that clarity is queen, that clarity is so much power. That literally changes our lives and dynamics of our relationships and how we view the world. So our belief systems, instead of being attached to these rigid belief systems, we become more flexible and malleable in our belief systems. That becomes very empowering and powerful for us. So I'm going to leave you with that. Men, if you're watching this, check out the link above, reclaimyourkingdom.com. Ladies, if you know a man that may benefit from this immense 3-month immersive journey, please pass the link on to them as well. Share this video if you resonate with it. Beautiful people. So many. Oh, Palo Santo. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's like a special. That's a special introduction. Like a special. What's it called? A special appearance. You want to come make a special appearance? Are you shy? You're not shy, are you? You're not shy? Come and make a special appearance. Come on. There you go. Slip in. There you go.
Welcome.
There you go. Slip in. There you go. Here we are. Yes, sure. Of course I want to tag him. Tag him. It's just how intuitive is Facebook? Wonderful.
Not at all.
Wonderful.
Now you are cleansed. You're cleansed and open to the world. Your chakras are wide open.
Thank you. This is what we're talking about. You got to have fun. You got to have fun in life. I'm creating a halo of epicness around you, bro. I want to say thank you for everyone for being here. Many, many blessings on your journey, and I'll speak to you soon. Share the video if it resonates, yeah? Thank you so much.